In this episode, I'm reviewing Season 2 of American Horror Story, Asylum. Now, Season 2 of American Horror Story, Asylum premiered October 17, 2012, and the season finale aired January 23, 2013. The series consisted of 13 episodes, and this is set in 1964 at an asylum called Briarcliff Manor, which is located in Massachusetts. Now, it is an in-your-face, different take on how Season 1 was. We didn't know what Season 2 was going to be. We didn't know how it was going to play out. But when we find out that this was an anthology series, meaning that each season had the same actors, but they played different roles in a different time period, and the story setting was different, was very interesting. There are crazy things happening. And of course, what better way to have, continue this series than with a season that is in an asylum? Because we know asylums are creepy, they're weird, they house serial killers, murderers, crazy psychiatric people who don't know what they're doing. The interesting thing is that Season 2 had a slew of big actors in this. James Cromwell was in this as he played Dr. Arthur Arden. Joseph Fiennes was in this as he played Timothy Howard, Monsignor Timothy Howard. Chloe Sevigny was in this. Jessica Lange, Evan Peters return. Zachary Quinto is in this. And it's like crazy because you didn't expect Season 2 to be this big and this crazy and in your face. A lot of things are going on at this asylum and you don't know what's happening. But Season 2 started to connect the dots of certain characters, and this led to later seasons where everything is connected in the American Horror Story universe. Dr. Arthur Arden is connected in a way to a later season, which is interesting and fantastic, and how that played into it, which is really good. Jessica Lange once again stole this series and this season for sure. She stood out on her own, and it was really, really good and really, really fun. The bloody face serial killer was just interesting and in your face. Of course, Evan Peters returns in this as well, and he plays Kit Walker, someone who's framed for the killings, but he doesn't know what's happening because he's still trying to figure out what's happening around him as he's hallucinating and not understanding where his wife is and where his kids are, so to speak. I don't want to give any spoilers away because I know there are a lot of people who haven't seen the American Horror Story series or the seasons. I'm going to leave it at that. This show starts off very, I want to say, slow. But it builds up in tension where it actually explains the story of every single character and the backstory of how everyone is connected. There are times where you think that, okay, I can't watch this because it doesn't make any sense. Stick with it and you'll actually like this season. I wasn't a fan of it at first, but then I gave it another watch, and I have to say that it was really, really fun to watch. The writing in it is great, and the whole setting of Briarcliff itself is interesting. Now every time a new season of American Horror Story comes out, they have these 30-second to minute trailers to tease what the season is going to be about. Sometimes the trailers, those 30-second trailers, are actually 10 times or 100 times better than the actual season. And kind of foresay that, I want to say that the teaser trailers for Asylum Season 2 were for that matter. It was interesting, it was fun, it was different, and we didn't know what to expect. But they actually made sense, and I want to say that there's a musical number in this with Jessica Lange and the whole Briarcliff patients where it didn't make any sense. It brought down the show a slight bit, but then over the course of the next few episodes after that episode, things made sense and things came together, and we knew who the killer was of Bloody Face. The very first episode of this season is right in your face, and we don't understand what's happening, but there's a backstory to it, which is really, really good and really, really fun. There's a lot of supernatural elements, scientific influences, aspects of the paranormal, ghosts, aliens. Everything is thrown into this season. You don't understand what's happening until you really watch it for yourself, and that's what it is. American Horror Story Asylum was different in a way than what Murder House was. Murder House was a straight in-your-face horror story of a haunted house. Simple, it's been done before. But then when Asylum comes along a year later and puts in these different anecdotes of horror and the subgenre of what it is, the science fiction aspect of things, and how your mind works, and how the mentality of certain things happen, then things start changing around you as you're watching this. Because you don't know what's happening, if it's in the mind of these patients, is it really happening, or if someone else is doing this to them. It is all explained in the season finale. And you know, some might like it, some might not like it. And like I said, I watched it once, I didn't enjoy it, but then I gave it another watch, and I actually enjoyed it for what it was, because I love the aesthetic and look and feel of the 1960s that it gave. But then take away that musical number that happened in one of the episodes with Jessica Lange singing the name game. This season's really interesting and fun to watch. And there are a lot of people who loved Asylum and that loved the way things were done. But for me, American Horror Story Season 2 Asylum gets 4 out of 5 stars. So let me know in the comment section below what you thought about this season. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Did you see it? And if you saw it, what did you think of it? Did you think it was better than Murder House? Or was Murder House better than this one? Let me know in the comment section below. I'm Anthony. Thanks for tuning in.